Hi guys, Ian here, aka Hura Mantra. Welcome to my channel and to another video. And today I want to talk about, let's get a bit comfy. I want to talk about love. Now, I've been chatting to a friend who is going through a real tough time, distraught, loss of love and all that. And I guess we've all been there, haven't we, where we've had to maybe end a relationship or lost someone through whatever reason. And I've felt that our lives are turned upside down and we don't know how we're going to continue, and all of that stuff that happens with heartbreak. And after talking to them, it sets my mind in motion, brings back memories, causes me to ask questions about what's it all about. And the line of the Johnny Cash song sort of came through my mind from this thing called love. What does it say? It says, you can't see it with your eyes, hold it with your hand, but like the wind it covers our land, strong enough to rule the heart of any human. This thing called love. And it's right, isn't it? Because love can slay us. It can bring us to our knees, it can cripple us, it can make us not want to live anymore in some extreme circumstances. So I thought, so what is it? What's going on when that happens to us? Now, there are lots of different models of love, and as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, we're a bit impoverished in the English language because we use the word love for pretty much everything. Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah, I love this. We don't mean love in very many of those circumstances. We mean I like it, I enjoy it. And other languages are far more precise in their terminology when they use the word for love. Like for example, in the Greek language, there's a different word for the love that a husband has for a wife, or for a same-sex partnership, or a parent for a child, or a friend for another friend. But we don't have that in the English language, and we use love to describe many circumstances. But I want to talk about love, and I think my focus will be on romantic love and partnership love, because that is what set this series of thoughts going on in my mind. And as I say, there are many sort of theories of what happens when we love, but one that I particularly like, that, you see, when I encounter a theory, I like to kind of think it through and then apply it to my own experience to see, well, would that fit my own experience? And this particular theory of love, I don't know if it's a theory of love, but I think it's discussed in Scott M. Peck's book called The Road Less Travelled, or at least, it's in there somewhere, I believe, where love is not what we think it is. Because when I first think of maybe the end of a relationship, like a friend of mine is going through, which has brought them to a point of devastation, I think of that sadness is about the loss of the other person and what the other person contributed to their life. And I'm sure there is some of that, but a model that makes much more sense to me and fits much more with my own experience is this, that when we love, what happens is not that we are taking something from the other person, but that we are investing part of ourselves in that other person. So in a way, they become an extension of our own selves. That we, what is it? Okay, so let's assume that that's right. Let's assume that we do invest something and I'm not talking about of our time, I'm talking about of our essential energy. What is it that we invest of ourselves in that other person? Well, emotion for a start, and we know, don't we, that this is not all we are. The physical body is not all we are, that we are energy beings, and emotion is an energy. And so when we love, when we invest something of ourselves in another person, we are investing part of our energy, part of our emotional energy, part of our spiritual energy in that other person. Now, what does that mean? It means that it leaves us and it dwells in them. So they become an annex of what we are. They carry something of our energy, of our beingness within them. And I thought, okay, yeah, I can go with that. Because then it would explain to me why. Okay, hang on, sorry, I'm jumping around. So if that's the case, if we are investing something of our own energy in the person that we love, investing something of our very selves in the person that we love, what happens then when that relationship ends? Well, part of us is still with them. So we no longer see them, perhaps. We no longer see them in the same capacity, the same context. We may not see them at all. So that part of us is now cut off from us, not available to us. That part of us which we have invested in them is still with them. That part of ourselves which we gave to them is gone, and they are gone. And it's why we say, isn't it, oh, I feel incomplete. My life has no meaning. Why? Because part of us is gone. Part of us is not with us. And that takes some time to correct. It's like part of us has been cut away from us now. It's no longer in communion. And think of the words that we use. Oh, you know, brokenhearted, and we say, yeah, it takes time to heal. Time heals all wounds. How true. We are wounded because part of us has been taken away from us. We no longer have access to it. It's been cut off. And it also explains to me how it works the other way, where people say, I don't know, I can't believe that I loved them so much at one point, and now we have broken up and I don't really feel much at all. Why is that then? It's because, for whatever reason, and however long it's taken, they have withdrawn that aspect of themselves that they invested in the other person, which we'll call the love object, okay? Which is the term I think that Scott M. Peck uses. So if we have withdrawn from the other person that aspect of ourselves that we invested in them before the relationship ends, okay, we may miss them because they've become habitual in our lives, but we don't feel that wound. We don't feel incomplete, that part of us has been ripped out. Whereas, if none of that withdrawing back into self has taken place, when the cut comes, oh my God, you know, we want to die because we feel as if our lifeblood is hemorrhaging out of us. So that model works for me, that those things, those people, sorry, not things, those people that we love become love objects, become extensions of our emotional selves, of our spiritual energies. How can we use that then to help us? Because it's all very well knowing, excuse me a second, stop, no. Right. How can we use this information if it's true? Because it's all very well to know things, but if we can't use those truths that we learn to make our lives better, then what is the point? Well, I think if I had known that at the times when I had gone through really awful emotional trauma as a result of relationships that failed, I think it would have helped me to know that what was missing, what was causing me such pain, was the fact that an aspect of myself was not yet back with me, and that when that energy that I had invested would come back, then I would heal. It would also teach me that healing was within myself. It wasn't something that maybe would happen one day. It would be something that would definitely happen, albeit in time. It would also have helped me to know what to focus on and not to have felt helpless in the midst of terrible emotional pain, I suppose. You know, thinking, well, I'll never be the same because I will never be with that person again. So I would have known that yes, you will be okay when the energy that you invested has returned to you. And I think it would also have helped me with that thing, where we tell ourselves, oh, I'll never love again. I'll never feel like this again about anyone. Okay, well, maybe I was young when I thought that, but I think we do maybe think, will I ever love like this again? And the answer is no, you won't, because you're a different person, aren't you? You are a different person after a relationship than you were before it. But what you have to invest in the next relationship, should you choose to go into one, is the same, because it's the investing of yourself. It isn't dependent on what the other person brings to a relationship, whether you will love deeply. It depends on how much of yourself that you choose, I guess, to invest. So even as I'm saying this, really, it's drawing me back to the truth, which I think is a recent learning for me, and that is that essentially, as spiritual beings, as immortal souls, we are utterly complete within ourselves. Yes, we have our spiritual journey, we have our spiritual evolution that we must achieve and attain. But love is always something that comes from within us. It is something that we have within us in unlimited quantities. That we don't run out of the capacity to love. That our ability to love is not dependent on anything that is outside of ourselves, because it's the energy of what we are. Okay, well, I think I'll stop there, and thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you guys again soon. Bye for now.